Okay, so with this lockdown and closure, a lot of my friends, people I know, have been asking me for basic recipes for cakes. They're missing out on eating, cakes and sweets outside. So they've been asking me, can you suggest something that we can make at home? So I said, okay, I've been giving out a few recipes. I said, I might as well make a small video. Now, this is a very, very basic cake video. This is awesome. This is the ABC of cake. This is the first cake I ever learned to make when I was maybe 7 years old. It's a basic pound cake. The reason it was called a pound cake, it's called a pound cake, was that it originally contained a pound of all four main ingredients. Now, in any basic cake, there are four components. There's a flour, there's a fat, there is a rising agent, and there is a sweetener. So your rising agent could be eggs or rising agents. Additionally, along with eggs, you can have baking powder, you can have baking soda, you can have other rising agents as well. Fats can be oil, it can be almond butter, it can be butter, it can be, there are many other kinds of fat. Flour can be cake flour, all-purpose flour, self-raising flour, whole wheat flour. You can add in a lot of flours. And of course, sweeteners can be sugar, it can be jaggery, it can be honey, it can be agave. There are many sweeteners. What I'm doing is very, very basic. It's all-purpose flour, it's eggs, it's butter, it's sugar. It's as simple as that. And this is the original pound cake. This is what is used in Victorian sponge cakes as well. We are not going to be using a pound of everything because that will lead to a very, very big cake. So this is for a small cake for a family of, maybe 4 to 6 people. And it's 110 grams of everything. So I will give you the recipe a little bit later. And let's just look at the ingredients. It's very simple, no equipment, nothing. I'm going to be literally making this with a bowl and a whisk, and that's about it. So let's just look at the ingredients. So the recipe I have used today is 110 grams of everything. So 110 grams of butter, 110 grams of flour, 110 grams of sugar, and 2 eggs, which for medium size eggs are typically 55 grams each. So that's 110 grams. There's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. There's a quarter teaspoon of salt, and there's just a little bit of vanilla and about 2 tablespoons of milk. Everything is at room temperature. You can scale this up if you want to make it double. If you want to make it 1.5 times, you can do that really easily. If you're making it 1.5 times, it'll be about 165 grams of everything, and 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. If you want this in cup measurement, this is just for the flour, it's just under a cup of flour. So it's almost 3/4 cup of flour. It's about half a cup of sugar, half a cup of butter, and 2 eggs again. Okay, I think it's really easy. If you have any questions, you guys can ask me later. Bye-bye. So these are your 4 basic ingredients. There's butter, there's flour, there's eggs, there's sugar. Everything is at room temperature. That's a critical thing to remember when you're baking, that everything has to be at room temperature. The butter was in the fridge, so I've melted it slightly in the microwave. The eggs were in the fridge as well, so I kind of put them into warm water for a little while to kind of get into room temperature. Additionally, what we have, you can't really see anything over here. So we have milk, we have baking powder, and you have a little bit of salt. Since you get unsalted butter here in Turkey, I've added just a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to be making it in this bowl. So that's another thing when you're baking, when you're a novice at baking, you should keep everything ready before you actually start mixing the ingredients. And so I've actually buttered and floured the baking pan. This is a slightly higher baking pan, but it's about 7 inches. So this is a good 6 to 7 inches is a good size for a cake this big. Just a handheld whisk is what I'm going to be making with. And as flavoring, I'm going to be adding vanilla. And so this is the bowl in which I'm going to be mixing. I've already zested lemon a little bit earlier. So that's what we're going to be using. It's a very basic fundamental cake. I have the monkeys running around somewhere, so they're going to be disturbing us a little bit. I hope that's okay with everybody. Okay, so we're starting off with the butter. And the sugar will go into the bowl together. Okay.
Sugar?
Sugar, yeah, Tashi, sugar.
Can we mix?
Okay, Mama will mix, you can watch, okay? And you mix it all together. Okay, Tash, Obi will also mix a little bit, okay? It's great to get the kids involved. These two like doing it. Okay, don't drop anything, okay? Obi, Tashi? Okay.
This looks yum.
Okay, that's it, okay? This step is called creaming. So, one second, Obi. This step is called creaming, where you're creaming the sugar and the butter together. Okay, that's enough, okay? Now you take the eggs. No, you cannot do it, Obi. Oh, Tashi, one second. Keep it here. Okay. The eggs go in one by one.
I know how to do.
Obi,
but Mama.
Okay, Obi, you can mix it if you want. Here, come on, take it and mix it. Okay, Obi, let Tashi do. Okay, that's it, Tashi, okay? So, if this hadn't been at room temperature, this would have curdled, which is also fine. If it curdles, don't worry too much about it, because you can, once you add in the flour, it'll all get okay. Okay? So now goes in the flour. Tashi, can you leave it, please? Okay. Okay, so the baking powder goes in with the flour. Obi, can you, 1 second, okay? And the salt goes in as well. And the whole thing, you put in about half first initially. 1 second, okay? And I have a little bit of the milk here. You add about half the milk in first. Preferably don't do that with your hands, okay? But the kids, I mean, okay, that's all gone in.
I said dudu in it.
Yes, put some dudu in it.
I
Put all the dudu in it. That's it, okay?
This looks like.
Now this is your basic cake batter. I have already put in a little bit of lemon zest, but if you had left the lemon zest out, you could put in some other flavoring over here if you wanted, okay? So for example, I'm adding vanilla. It could have been only vanilla as well. At this stage, you could add some orange zest, you could add some coffee, you could add some chopped walnuts into this. You could add anything that you wanted. And that's it. You need to put this into the pan and into the oven. What I forgot to mention was initially, before I started doing anything, I had preheated the oven to about 170 degrees. And this goes in the middle rack in the oven. So I'm done with this, and this is how it's supposed to be. It's a free-flowing batter. It's smooth. There are no lumps. There's nothing. Don't over whisk this. There is no need to do it. And that's about it. We're done. And now Obi, Tashi will lick this, okay? Okay. So I've smoothened out the batter in the pan, as you can see. And I don't know what these guys are trying to do. Yeah, okay. You guys can lick the bowl. Okay, Tashi, no, not from there, okay? Tashi's trying his luck, he's dipping it into the cake. No, Obi, no. Yeah, you can take from there, okay?
But there is no this.
Okay.
There is no more.
Obi, if you take from the cake batter, then I will not have any cake left to make, no? You want cake, right? To eat? Yeah. Okay, then you have to wait, okay? And now this goes into the oven, which has been preheated at 170 degrees. Obi?
Huh?
Kya chata?
Take some
Cake batter.
take butter.
Was it yummy?
Yes. It's yummy. Can we eat? After it's ready, then you can eat it.
Yes. After the cake is ready, you can eat it, okay? So you need to put it in in the oven for about, I think 25 minutes should be good. You need to keep checking, of course. I've just put in was about 12 and a half minutes. It's been in already. So you can see the cake has already started rising a little bit. A cake is done when a skewer comes out clean. If you've been baking long enough, you can even smell it. You smell it when it's done. Okay, so the 25-minute alarm just went off. I'm gonna check the cake, okay? I have a feeling that it might not be ready as yet. Okay. 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 So I mean, my estimate is that it'll take about 5 minutes more. If you're not so confident, you guys can also just remove it and poke a skewer at it and check. But I know it's not yet ready, so I'm gonna put it in for another 5 minutes, and we will check after 5 minutes to see if it's done or not. Okay, so I have 4 minutes extra, so totally at about 29 minutes. I kind of felt that this is done, so I removed it. And the best way to check is like with a bamboo skewer, okay? And you poke it in the middle, and if it comes out clean, it's done. The cake is ready. If there was still a little bit of like wet batter left on it, you would put it in for another few more minutes. But this is done. It's pretty flat top. It's kind of coming out. The other way to tell if your cake is done or no, it starts coming away from the edge. You know, so there's a little bit of gap that's happening here. And there's Tashi. You can smell it and there he's come. Tashi, this is very garam, okay? Bacha, don't touch it. So I have a loose pot and pan, and the best way to kind of, you know, remove this thing of the pan, it's still hot, the cake. So I have a glass here, and you just kind of put it on that. And it comes out. And that's your cake, ready and done. I'm going to put it on this wire rack and let it cool down for a little bit. It's done. It's pretty flat. I mean, there's a slight dip in the middle. That's okay. But otherwise, it's risen really well. I'm sure it'll taste good. I hope you guys make this and let me know how it turned out.
You. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Okay, I already cut the cake. I mean, they couldn't wait at all, and but they're asking for a second piece. Okay, who wants a second piece of cake? Okay, okay, Tashi, can you wait, please? Okay, here you go. This piece is for Obi. Wait, Obi, move your hand, please. And this piece is for Tashi. Wait. Okay, you can see it's pretty good crumb. Okay, perfect little cake.
Nom, 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 nom. I thought the better. Listen.
Tashi, धीरे खा. Obi, धीरे खा. Obi, Tashi, can you guys say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Tashi, bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.